All right, guys, how is everybody doing today? This is Brian Zbierk, one of the leaders of the EBB Launchpad, where we're leveraging the unique skill sets of our members to create a reusable blueprint that will be applied to essentially building a portfolio of brands amongst us. Our goal is to create a community that effectively communicates the strategies, tools, and the resources required to build and scale a profitable brand reliably so that our members and you that's listening can also benefit from what we implement. So before we dive into things here, we do want to mention some of our amazing sponsors that we've been working with. Prep Center LA, we have IntelliRank, we have the Zab Twins, Marketplace Superheroes, the FBA Studio that's been doing a lot of work for us, the FBA Allies, as well as Product Pinion. And we've just recently secured a partnership with Ritz Momentum, who's going to be helping us with our product development. So a quick little overview here. We are still in the product development stage and we're going down the rabbit hole of making superior product for our target offering. All said and done, today, we're going to be giving you updates in two core areas. One is actually giving you and releasing the product that we're going to be launching. Okay. And the second thing that we're going to go ahead and dive into as well is just going down and essentially analyzing some of the split testing results that we got when it comes to finalizing our branding. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off. I'm part of the branding team. I'm the creative genius out of the Zab Twins, if you're familiar with myself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the split testing results that we did and some of the things that we've essentially done to go ahead and get and come to a conclusion to what we're going to do for our branding. So bear with me here. Okay. So first things first here, Product Pinion is a software actually ran by one of our leaders, Andre Sadlak. And the power of split testing is honestly so fundamental to being successful preliminary before anything. And one of the things that we've used Product Pinion for is actually understanding what we should do in terms of our branding and how we can resonate with our customer more, because your branding is the face of your brand, right? Think of your face, how people identify yourself. Your logo, how you present yourself is what people are going to resonate with and remember you for. So what we did was we've been working with the FBA Studio to go ahead and actually get a bunch of different designs created based off what we as entrepreneurs and actually the people that are in the Launchpad are as predominantly our target market. So we asked ourselves, what do we like? First of all, we like minimalistic, we like modern, we like sleek. We took that a step further as well, okay? And we asked ourselves, what are our competitors doing? So if you go look at the some of the big competitors out there in the travel space that specifically provide travel-related products, they're very minimalistic. And more often than not, they're actually just plain text, maybe with a circle badge, and they're more often black and white, maybe with a Pantone color as well. So we took that information and we had sent it over to the FBA Studio to go ahead and develop some logos for our branding. So this is one of the results that we had. This is the second result that we had. This is the third, and this is the fourth. Okay. So as you can see, we actually had a conclusive answer saying that this was going to be the winner. Okay. But what we wanted to do, just because, even though there was a conclusion, we wanted to take these two a step further and ask the audience, putting these aside, which one would be better. So we went ahead and did the same thing. We took these two split test results, and then we actually ended up coming with an inconclusive answer. Okay. So we took this one and we took this one. And we came up with an inconclusive answer. So what we did, we took it a step further, and we love to harness the power of social listening. So we obviously went directly into all of the members that are going to be launching this brand with us. We went into our networks directly. We even leveraged our social networks, posted these, created polls, and a lot of the feedback that we were getting amongst all the feedback directly within here as well was a couple things. One, with this looks like a compass, but it also looks like a crosshair. When it comes to this, some of the things that we were seeing was this makes it look like a Y, and they didn't really like this and how it essentially turned out. But some of the biggest things that we actually saw was, why not make it a little bit more simple and follow and not reinvent the wheel compared to what our competitors are doing, which is plain text. So we took all that feedback, and what we went ahead and did was we went and established that this was actually a clear winner, and it clearly identified the niche a lot better. Because this, in my opinion, resembles travel a lot more with the plane, or this, after asking our network and after asking our direct target market, we realized that this was very much so, easily mistaken to be something outside of travel. So we took these results and then we also created just a plain text. So again, not reinventing the wheel, taking what exactly our competitors are doing. And unfortunately, we got an inconclusive answer again. So we went back to the drawing board, we went back to our mastermind, and we did a lot more social listening. And we ended up actually moving forward with this logo. And this is the main reason why. This lines up with what we're looking for: modern, sleek, minimalistic. And it also allows us to pivot if needed. Pigeonholing ourselves into just being in travel. Let's say we did want to expand into something, whether it be a sub niche outside of travel, maybe we wanted to get into office storage for entrepreneurs. This will allow us to do this without rebranding. So after taking all of these results, after really leveraging our social networks is really what allowed us to come to a conclusion. We went ahead and developed our branding guidelines, and we're going to be going directly with this Voyage text here. Super simple. And this is how our images and things along those lines are going to be displayed. Fairly basic. I'll go over the logo assets. Really, really good job done by our partners over at the FBA Studios. They've gladly allowed us to sponsor this. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the branding. Super stoked on implementing this. And now we're working on implementing all these across our social networks. So what we'll do now is let's go ahead and dive into the actual product itself. I know on our last update, we didn't actually dive into what we were going to do. We wanted to keep it a little bit of a secret, but now that we're, securing sponsorship and we know what we're doing and we've gone down the product development stage and kind of have a very clear direction on what we potentially want to do. And our next step is going to be working with Ritz in order to develop that. We want to show you the product and kind of give you a conclusion in regards to why we think this is a good product from a feasibility standpoint. So Graham, I'm going to have you dive in. If you want to go ahead and just share everything and anything that you think is important for our audience to essentially know.
Okay, so this is a little bit of the data from Data Dive. Again, Brandon Young's software that he's developed to show us a lot of the in-depth information about this niche. One of the main sections that we look at is going to be this relevant keyword section, as well as the competitor search volume strength. And what this basically does is if we look at the relevant keywords and think of this as an overall pie, how big is the market and how many different ways are our customers articulating all of these relevant keywords. So what Data Dive does is it basically does a reverse ASIN lookup on all of these 15 different main sellers. And what classifies a main seller or a main competition is one, they're offering a very similar product that what we want to sell. And two, they're making a majority of the revenue within the niche. So all of these main 15 competitors here are the top sellers within the category. All of these keywords below, Data Dive will pull and show us all of the relevant keywords that they're indexed and ranked for. So like I said, this shows us the overall pie of the market and how many slices each one of the competitors is taking up. So if we use this as our definition of competition rather than just reviews, because if this seller right here has 4,000 reviews, but you can see here that they're not ranked on page one for the majority of the keywords that we're going to be targeting, it's hard to consider this person as competition when we're ranking for all of these keywords. So Brandon Young has a benchmark of what makes a good product when we use Data Dive. And his benchmarks are 150 relevant keywords at least. The more keywords, the better, because the bigger the pie, the more keywords to go after. The second section here is the competitor search volume strength. And this shows us the percentage of search volume that they're populating on page 1 for. In other words, it shows us the percentage of keywords that they're ranking for out of this 60 relevant keywords right here. So we can see that 14 of the 15 total sellers is very weak in terms of ranking, meaning they're not on page 1 for a majority of these keywords. And keep in mind, these are the main competition. So when we see this, we will also want to understand, well, how many other keywords are there that maybe have a little bit of search volume under this 350 minimum? And when we do this and we put in 150 as the minimum search volume, we can see that our keywords jump up to over 200. So there is an extra 140 keywords that, again, our competition is still not ranked appropriately for. And we can consider this our low-hanging fruit to target originally, build up some reviews, and then target some of the keywords that our competition is ranked appropriately for. That is our main keywords, like hanging travel shelves, things like that. So this provides us a lot of really, really good insight into understanding where our competition is making a majority of their revenue. And we can see that people are making 158, 46, 53, 47,000, 57,000, and 86,000 a month in revenue when they aren't ranked for a majority of the keywords that their competitor or their customers are searching up. So very, very beneficial information for us to see. Another section that we look at when we're analyzing this data dive report is this deep dive section to the left. And this is really interesting because it shows us kind of the percentage of search volume for keywords related here. We can see a very big spike for these packing cubes for carry-on suitcases, but keep in mind that all of these keywords below still have a massive amount of search volume moving down to this trend. Even this bottom one right here has 8,967 search volume. So really, really good. Yeah. Another section is going to be the actual search or the actual sales velocity at the time of year each seller has, which is articulated right here in this box. This is to verify that it's not necessarily a seasonal product or a product that is only going to generate sales for a portion of the year. And we can see by all of these little trend lines, these yellow lines moving up in the right trajectory, shows that there is spikes in certain peaks and troughs. Obviously, summer months, people may be traveling more, but there is no overarching seasonality to this specific product. So the main benefit of using Data Dive is articulating what areas of the market are our competitors looking on Amazon for this product, but our main competitors, the sellers that are currently selling to this market, aren't appropriately satisfying. When we look at all of these keywords here, Will is going to go into why we're going to be able to target them, how we're differentiating the product. When we order our competitors' samples off of Amazon, we can see that they don't include packing cubes. A lot of the keywords that customers are searching when they want some travel organization products. So we're going to be encompassing all of this into our product to be able to target all 200 of these relevant keywords where our competition isn't ranked for. So I'll pass it off to Will here to give us a little bit more information about our competitors' products and how we're moving forward with our sponsors to develop this product and stand out on Amazon, not only visually, but functionally, and make a better product for our main audience.
Lovely. Yeah. So what I say we do is I say we keep the product development aspect of things, how we're going to differentiate, et cetera, et cetera. Let's keep that for the next call so that we have people on the edges of their seats. But today, let's talk about why we felt the need to order our competitor samples. And what are some of the findings that we saw from that, Will? You can keep this short and sweet, however you want to take it.
Yeah. So we're not going to share the exact specifics of what we're going to do because we have a meeting next week with the Ritz. But yeah, we ordered our competitor samples. And why did we do that, right? There's a saying in business that the pioneers are the ones with the arrows in their back, right? What we are essentially trying to do is find what's already working, what's already selling, and see how we could put our own spin, into that, right? Apple didn't make the first music player or the first smartphone, but they crushed iPod and they crushed iPhone. So what we did with those samples is we tested them all out. We see what we like and, took out what we didn't like and put it through a framework. And this framework is from one of my professors in college that taught entrepreneurship. Didn't take a salary at the college, but he helped with at the beginning of like Apple, Yahoo, Kellogg's, Amazon, right? He knew Bezos and Steve Jobs, but he taught me this framework called Scamper, SCAMPER. And S is for substitute something. C is for combine it with something else. A is for adapt it. M is for modify. P is for put it to some other use. E is for eliminate something. And R is for reverse or rearrange it. And with that framework, we pretty much, we're going to substitute some materials potentially, combine it with another product potentially, and rearrange the way we thought, rearrange the original samples that we got on Amazon. So we put together a mood board, and with that in mind, we're gonna give that as inspiration next week on our call with Ritz, and that's where we are with our differentiation.
Yeah, that's huge. I love that. I don't think I've ever heard you say that scamper saying, but that literally defines how important and probably the most crucial step to being successful on Amazon. It's going that route and making sure that your product is better. So now, as you can see, what we've done is we're not reinventing the wheel. We're taking our competitors and we're trying to be better. We're also taking a look at our competitors from a data standpoint, because yes, you can have an amazing product design, but if it doesn't make sense from a data standpoint, they will never mesh together. So having both of these components, we've come to conclusions in regards to where we want to go. And now our next step, like Graham had mentioned, is to go and actually start developing this product, creating conceptual designs, talking to suppliers, and doing some market data and sampling when we get those things. So guys, appreciate the time. That is a wrap for today. What I want to do and encourage everybody that is tuning in here is go and make sure that you follow the Launchpad. If you go to launchpad.ecombb.com, go ahead and throw your email address in there. We're going to be sending bi-weekly, weekly emails pretty frequently to give you updates in regards to where we're at. We're going to be having these calls every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, potentially 4 weeks, depending on how much we have to update with you. And if you guys are wanting to follow us on social media to, again, follow the journey, we're on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Go ahead and search up Ecom Brand Builder, and we will go from there. And a quick little plug here: both Graham and Will are part of our mastermind. We have a very close-knit group of people that literally meet with each other every single week, and we just talk about goals. We talk about new strategies. If you're someone that is an e-commerce seller that is looking to potentially join a mastermind so that you can grow your business and surround yourself with some other winners, go to ecombb.com and make sure you apply, and we can take you through our application process.